Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mayor Show. Today, we're going to go on a special journey to Burbank's own landfill. Welcome to the Mayor Show. I'm standing here with our landfill supervisor, Curtis Jordan, and our recycling coordinator, Craig Hemphill. So I want to start first by asking you, Curtis, what exactly does a landfill supervisor do?
My responsibilities as landfill supervisor are the daily operations, staying in compliance with state and local rules.
Can you tell us a little bit about the equipment behind us? Because I think we're at ground zero.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of heavy equipment up here at the landfill. It's all Caterpillar equipment. We have compactors, heavy dozers, earth moving equipment. The thing to know about this equipment is all top of the line Tier 4 diesel powered equipment that produces very little pollutants.
Let's talk a little more trash.
Okay, let's.
We have 3 bins in Burbank that I faithfully put out and our community faithfully puts out on their trash day. What gets picked up from those 3 bins and brought to the landfill here?
Okay, we received 2 of the 3 bins. We have the black bin, which is behind us, which is the trash, and down below we collect the green waste.
So that 3rd bin, Mr. Hemphill, I'm going to turn to you now. Tell us more about where that 3rd bin goes.
Well, the 3rd bin goes to the recycle center. We collect the paper, the cans, bottles, metals, glass, all of those things that can be recycled. We take at the recycle center and get those into remanufacturing. We're just trying to make it easy so we can stretch the length of this landfill out.
How many years do we have left in our landfill?
Well, we just increased the life of the landfill up to 111 years. So we added 70 years over the last couple of years since 2016.
And can you describe how we actually got an additional 70 years out of our landfill? Because it's a staggering number and it's a great example of what is sustainable.
Yes, you're right. We changed our operations up here. Our compaction, we have changed. We started doing something called salvaging the soil. In the past, they would cover the waste with large amounts of soil and then put more waste on top of that. Now we are removing the soil, creating much more airspace, and we are placing waste on top of existing waste.
Curtis, you told me something earlier. I wanted to ask you how the Burbank landfill stacks up against other landfills in the state of California.
Our compaction and soil to waste cover is phenomenal, maybe the highest, definitely locally the highest compaction rate. We have inspections, surprise inspections by the state and the county. The last time the state inspector finished his inspection, he made a statement that he thought the cleanest landfill he had ever been to was in Catalina Island. And then he said this may have beat him. That was
really?
That was nice.
So of all the landfills that he's inspected, Burbank is number 1.
Number 1 at the top.
I think that is so great. How long have you worked for the landfill?
I came to the landfill in 2014.
And ever since then, you've been cleaning it up and working on these new ideas about how to do it smart and get more years out of our landfill.
Correct.
You also have had some other unexpected jobs. And I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about when you put on a kind of fireman's hat and helped fight some fires that we had up here, a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago, 2017, I believe, in September. The La Tuna fire affected the landfill. It came into the landfill that Friday evening and stayed with us all night and through the weekend. We have a water truck with the capability of pumping water, and we basically kept the fire from entering the landfill and doing massive damage to our equipment and other resources we have here.
Luis Carlos is a lead worker here at our landfill, and he's much more than that. So, Luis, I want to ask you how you were inspired to do the work you do, and if you would tell our community what you are doing with these products that would otherwise be recycled.
Well, a lot of these items just come to me natural. I look at them instead of, but to me, it's just kind of waste to go into the trash pile. If I can make something out of nothing and make this place look a lot better, that's my inspiration. I just look at an item and, I don't know, it just comes natural.
So can you tell us about this tortoise here, which is fantastic?
Yeah, that was a tire that we were having a hard time to dispose off of it because the size of it. So it just came up to me about I'm doing this kind of like an outdoor team. So I have the turtle, eventually be a mirror behind it, and maybe something else will come off of it.
And all of these products that you work with and can turn into art are things that members in our community have discarded and sent to the land.
Yes, literally that's what happens. People don't see the beauty in the things that can be recycled, but I grew up at a time where you actually save items, don't just discard it. So this is one of the things that I'm trying to save as much as I can, and also at the same time try to make this place look a little bit better.
And what about these trees over here to our right that look like they wouldn't grow in a landfill, but they certainly look like they're a piece of art?
Yeah, well, there's some palm trees. They just came natural. We were started getting a lot of tires, and I figured we can do something with them. So we had some recycled metal too that was supposed to go to a recycle bin, and I just decided to make some palm trees.
I think that is so fantastic. Well, it's such a wonderful pleasure to talk to you this morning and to find out that what we may end up tossing out actually becomes artwork by our own Luis Carlos here at our Burbank Landfill. Thank you so much for talking with me.
It is my pleasure working. This is my dream job. I mean, that sounds kind of corny, but I love working here.
Can you tell us all about the green waste, what we're doing, and what our plans are for the future?
So this pile is probably about 1/3 grass clippings.
What?
And, out of those 18,000 tons, we're probably looking at, between 5,000 and 10,000 tons of just grass clippings. We don't pick them up on parks. We don't pick them up at the school district. We don't pick them up, at the golf course, on the fairways. All that grass gets left because it's really high in nutrients. There's nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all the major nutrients, plus the minor nutrients and the carbon that builds humus in the soil. So by collecting all this, we're actually robbing our own soils of the nutrients they need. And it's a huge expense. It's probably in the neighborhood of about $5 million to collect all these yard clippings.
Really?
Yes, and move them out of town.
There is more than grass clippings where we're standing right now. Let's talk about these other things that don't look green at all.
Yeah, okay, so we're standing in what a typical day at the green waste collection pile looks like. And unfortunately, we've got recyclable materials here, we've got trash, we've got a cat bed, we've got all sorts of things that should never go in the green bin. And what I like to remind people about is that this is going to a composting facility. The next place it goes is to the farm where your food is coming from. And we're starting to measure plastics in farmland now, just like we are in the oceans. And, plastic is just showing up everywhere. So contamination is one of our biggest challenges. And green waste should be only leaves, grass, sticks, those kinds of things coming out of our yard, and nothing else.
I'm standing here with Joe Seferdini of Avian Entertainment and Abatement. And he has one of the best kept secrets of our landfill. Joe, can you tell us about who your friend is and what her job is?
This is Mabel, and Mabel is a lantern falcon, and her job up here at the landfill is to keep all the seagulls away, the pest birds that can cause a lot of pollution. And so her job is very important. When we first started this program around 8 years ago, there was thousands of seagulls free feeding on the garbage, and they were having a lot of issues trying to keep them out of the garbage and keeping the pollution down. And then we have an airport that's fairly close, and so they were very worried about how many seagulls were on site. And we came out and did a demonstration and let the falcon fly, and the seagulls are definitely very, very afraid of a falcon. Their natural enemy of a seagull is the falcon. That's what they eat. And so as soon as they saw a falcon flying, the whole flock of seagulls took off and went back to the beach where they belong. Of course, there is a big draw, the garbage. There's a lot of food in there, and so the seagulls will come back if we're not out here. We're out here 3 days a week, kind of a maintenance schedule, and the seagulls have definitely realized there's a falcon in the area, and they're much less likely to come back, as you can see.
Can I touch her at all, or is this something that you would prefer not happen?
You can touch her. Did you sign your waiver? No.
Sure, I signed my waiver.
Right. Just real gently. They don't really like being touched, but they definitely...
Oh, my. Oh, my.
You can feel how smooth she is.
She is so smooth.
Everything
Thank
about
you.
a falcon is adapted for speed. She has very sharp wings, and falcons are considered the fastest animal on the planet. They've been clocked at over 230 miles an hour.
No.
So the reason they go so fast is because what they eat also goes very fast. Pigeons and seagulls and other
Right.
birds, and so they have to be a little bit faster than them.
Well, how about if we have a demonstration
Okay.
of what she can do and we set her free to show us how she works?